in the age of legends. The ancient land of Britannia awaits its new king. In this proud realm of knights and citadels, every living soul feels that a time of wonders and magic has come. The fairy lords have returned, but even they are swept away by the coming tide of mayhem. Prepare for a war, the like of which has never been seen before. Rule your destiny.
Good morning everyone, my name is Christian from Two-Headed Wolf Gaming and welcome to King Arthur, the role-playing war game. This is a game that was developed by Neocore Games and was published actually by Paradox Interactive, a game that came out in 2009, and I have to say that when I first played it, this is just the first time I am playing it on Steam. When I had it way back, like in the times of games on CDs, right? Those were that was a different period of time. But even though this game flew by me for a very long time, when I finally got into it for some reason, like I don't know, it's one of those games that people don't really know about it, and now when they discover it and they play it, it's not up to par anymore. I mean, there are some things that the standards have improved, definitely. The thing with Neocore Games, and I'm guessing their engine or things like that, because they have a few other games that I like, is that the camera is a bit wonky, especially during battles. But once you get past that, I find that King Arthur, the role-playing war game, is a great game. I personally liked it. Actually, I loved it. If you like games that have that kind of morality, like choices and things like that, this game will reward you for everything you've done. There's a few things I would recommend. One of them is here. So we're gonna play with tutorials. Like, I know most of the things that I have to do, but playing with the tutorial actually slows down the beginning of the game so much that it unlocks things as you play along, and I believe that it will provide me with enough time to explain more elements of the game to you. I would go for weaker archers. I'm not sure if I can call it a problem, but let's say that it's a problem. The problem with archers is that they're really strong where they can melt a lot of units down by the time you get to them. I think this is a problem that also appeared in games like Rome Total War. And I like to go with a weaker archer just to provide you with a tiny bit more flexibility on what you can do, and not just spam archers because they're the best. The game does support a 2560 per 4040 resolution. That is pretty good, although the graphics it's a 2009 game. You know what to expect from it. So we'll do a brand new campaign over here. We're gonna play this game together, and I'm really hoping that you like it. I was inspired by playing Pendragon, and I said during that game that I am going to jump into this title as well. And so I'm really hoping that you'll enjoy it, maybe even experience it for yourself. As I said, once you get used to the camera and a few other elements, you're gonna love what the game has to offer on the other side, like all the good things. So we'll do an original campaign. As far as difficulty goes, I'm just gonna go on normal. You can change it during the game, so if you find any of these to be difficult, I say going for beginner might be good for a first time player, because there's many mechanics you've never seen before. I'll shut up now.
It all began in the darkest years of Britannia, after Uther Pendragon, the last great king, died. It was then that the wizard Merlin summoned the warring rulers from their petty kingdoms. They all saw a great stone, and in the middle there was a sword inscribed with strange letters that said, "Only the true king can pull out this sword." When Arthur, the son of Uther Pendragon, pulled the sword out of the stone, suddenly everything changed in Britannia. In the wilderness, monsters awoke from their sleep. The air crackled around ancient stone circles. Something terrible happened, a cataclysm that changed the land and unleashed the tide of a terrible war. The ancient race of the Sidhe returned from the realm of twilight and thorns. And then came the knights. They were like giants wearing black steel and wielding strange weapons. They were powerful and invincible warriors. They might be the only hope in this age of wonders and mayhem. So begins the tale of King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table.
Chapter 1, the Book of Beginnings.
Sir, I am your foster father, and I brought you up as my own flesh and blood. You are my king, and I promise that I shall not fail you. However, you are still inexperienced with the ways of warfare. I would be glad if I could give you advice from time to time. And please accept the sword of my son, your foster brother, Sir Kay, who will be your faithful knight.
So, let me bring up my volume, because I would like to... I like the music on the background. So, here is where we begin. In Cornwall, on the bottom left of Britannia. We'll take things out one at a time. I'm going to try to explain as much as possible at the beginning of the game. The pace does pick up, as you can imagine, and if you play without tutorial, then you'll jump straight in. So you don't always have to go through the tutorials and things like this. Totally fine. Okay, well, we are... I guess I'm not gonna go through this. We are King Arthur. Okay, so we are King Arthur in this game. We are the leader, and we do have different knights, different armies. Okay, let's see. Army selection. So this is our first army. What do we have over here? Well, we do have an army from Sir Kay. He is our hero. We do have some light troops and some heavy troops. Now we're gonna look further into the army later on. It's part of the tutorial, so at first he just tells us to attack the rebel army. In the top left of the screen, you will find Chronicles. There's a lot of lore in this game as well. Like that, this is why I guess I made the connection between Pendragon and this game. So you'll find everything about the characters, the legend, and all of that. And then in the top left we have the season. We're starting in spring. We have 5,000 gold and we have 1,000 food. We can see a few other buttons here and there will be more as the game progresses. But let's get into the fight. Most of these battles are slightly scripted at the beginning when you play a tutorial. So what do you have here? Well, we have the hero. We have, as I said, heavy footman, very heavy infantry, and we have some light infantry here as well, some normal footmen. When you do a battle, you will have the options later on to do an auto battle like they do in Total War. Though generally speaking, I don't recommend it. The cool thing that this game does is that you can pick some of your soldiers and click select for protection. That means that those troops will be protected during auto battle. So it's calculated in such a way that you will have a chance. You will have a chance to keep and have your weaker units or your most precious units survive. And this is the battle map. This is how it looks.
Your first task is to defeat the rebels who won't accept you as their king. They have burned down the village and set up their camp around the old keep.
So it has this kind of music whenever you fight a battle, it's picking up the pace. I like that the music is like British inspired. I guess one of the things that I was saying is that the camera is a bit wonky. It's hard to explain that. You will see me doing some of these without actually anything happening, like when I press the middle mouse button. There are ways in which you can change the camera mode from RTS to a default. This is the default one, where you can move these up and down. Though I find it slightly annoying, like it goes just a tiny bit too quickly for my taste. So I do keep it on an RTS kind of camera, but it's not perfect. You'll find many maps that has places like this in the world, all types of villages and stone circles and many things like that. So, what do? Well, we are in battle. We can pick our units. Every unit has melee, defense, and archery, like if they're a bow unit. Or they have instead no. And at the bottom, that's what I want to say. And at the bottom you will find stamina, which is like in Total War. It's the energy, the efficiency at which they fight, and also the speed at which they move, and the average HP, which is pretty normal. Like the green circle right here just shows you how depleted the troops are as far as stamina goes. You can get very close to the ground and you can see your troops, and I think for a game in 2009 this is what I love the most. The heroes are generally just a tiny bit taller than everybody else, and they have like cool shields and weapons and armor, and then you have the other troops which are cool looking as well, and they'll get even cooler as time goes by. We'll show you why. Another thing to point out is if I keep my mouse...
The rebels are guarding the river, and they have brought archers with them. Kill them all. Use your spell, the Fog of Avalon.
Okay, let's see. That's the range. So the range is at the river. But if you take a look here, when I keep my mouse on an empty ground, it shows what type of terrain it is and what is it good for. It's an open field. Heavy infantry and heavy cavalry get bonuses. Light infantry get a slight minus. Movement speed is unmodified. Small stamina decrease when you run over it, and 0 defense against archers. If I click on the forest or just keep my mouse over the forest, it shows that light infantry is actually better, and the heavy infantry, spearmen and cavalry get debuffed a lot. And it does matter. Like things like this will turn the tide of battle depending on where you fight. So you have to be careful with that. What I'm going to do here is that I am going to be picking our infantry, and I'm going to put them in, except for the heavy infantry, and I'm going to put them in a horde formation. That means we'll have good defense against archers, small attack and defense bonus for all units, and it's very weak against cavalry charges. If we go back to this, the first row gets medium bonuses for attack and defense, medium defense against cavalry charges, and easy target for archers. Okay? So you wanna do this, you wanna spread your troops, and one thing in this game, like you can go with spells. The Fog of Avalon will decrease the accuracy of ranged target by 50%. Not only that, it will reduce their firing range. So characters can be a very useful tool for you, especially like heroes, right? And you'll have more abilities as you play along. There are spells, there are mages, as you can imagine in any King Arthur game. This is a reality. So you can increase the speed up to 4. Now, sometimes it's useful. Battles have a pretty slow pace. You will be using this quite a bit. You can even pause the game if that is something you care for. Let's see, they have some spears here, the rebels. Okay. Now our HP is going down from the archer volley. I like to put them quickly into a tighter formation as we get very close to them. The thing that is very different in this game is that once you are engaged, like you can't do like in Total War, retreat them like this. You have to click withdraw. This will take them out of that combat situation. So let's go this way. Now, as far as graphics when it comes to battle, it's not amazing. There's no point of contact really in this one. It's as you can see over here. So there's no real point of contact. They just attack in a sense randomly in the air. There is some kind of orientation, but that's about it. So keep your expectations. I guess that's what I'm doing. I'm just making sure that you have the right expectations for this game, because it's not all good. The age is showing its ugly face, and when in battle, as you can see, it takes a very long time. I mean, it really depends on the situation, but this is in a sense a good thing, as it does provide you with an opportunity to withdraw troops, to rest them, to keep attacking and things like that. So
the rest of the rebellious army awaits you at the old tower. Destroy them all.
So if you don't like this kind, like if you feel like battles are way too slow for your taste, one of the things that you could do is enable or remove the weaker archer setting. That will make them so much tougher. I guess I want to rest my troops. Okay, just for a bit. Yeah, I think we're gonna be fine. Now there is a way to walk, so you don't have to rush them. Let's see, what do we have here? Well, I would like to take two of these units. There's no huge formation except for these. Like we have a wedge formation here, very high melee bonus for the units on the edges, weak defense against archers. But let's go with a wedge formation here. I am going to go straight for his rebels there. And over here, what we will see is this. When units are in forest, so basically when their line of sight is cut off, right? You don't see them. One of the things that will happen is that when you reveal yourselves for the first few, for a few seconds, you will receive bonuses to attack. So like these guys, they will receive a bonus for basically ambushing us. That is the idea of it. So I'll bring you here, I'll bring this guy from the back. Now, if you take a look at this formation, as it says, very high melee bonus for units on the edges. Some of these say like the first row gets medium bonuses to attack and defense, but the defense and the attack in the back of the troops is not as high. So so you will make some decisions on how to engage with certain troops, whether you should charge your cavalry in the battle, or what will you do. Okay, we'll speed it through. This is the beginning of the game. Many of these battles will be speeded. Okay, these guys are quite tired. The light infantry is fine. Okay, there we have it, our first battle. This episode, like the first 2 episodes, will be an hour-long episode because there's a lot to explain, a lot to show, and I went with the tutorial because, as I said, I want to show you what this game is about. With the good and the bad, like I'm not sure it's necessarily, it's bad compared to today's standards. Let's see, so we get different casualties. Being part of the tutorial, this does not matter, we didn't take any casualties, and we gain experience. Oh yep, there's experience. You have done very well, my king. You have successfully defeated the band of rebels. Now I humbly ask you that you heed my advice, my lord. Not far from here on the northern shore, you'll find a castle where a rebellious Druk is trying to gather a bigger army. Attack him immediately while he is still weak. A group of archers has arrived to help your cause. Take them with you. So, you can inspect the army at any time by double-clicking on the army. Good?
Yes, my lord.
So here is the army screen. We have our hero. We have heavy troops with the melee and defense. Pretty good melee, pretty good defense overall. This is their upkeep for food and gold. Stamina. There's nothing much to be said over here, like we now have a cavalry unit. Let's see, can I... Yeah, I can show you a few things here. I'll wait to explain about the character when we level up. For now, for the heavy footman, you'll see damage and attack rate, HP, armor, range defense resistances, archery, if there is the case. And then you'll see over here information about absolutely every stat is explained in this game. There is resistances against magic. It reduces all incoming magical attacks, and depending on what rates you have, you can even reflect spells. At the bottom, as you will get, I think in total is like 20 points. So you have melee, increase 5 damage, increase 5% damage. Then you have defense, which grants hit points, armor, and range defense. You'll have archery with damage and accuracy. You'll have stamina, plus 10. And you'll have devotion, which reduces the upkeep cost of troops. And this one is actually quite useful in certain... you'll have multiple armies, and you don't have the chance, there is a way to control how much income you get per turn, but at many points you'll find yourself without resources if you don't plan it well enough. The cavalry, over here, they'll level up. They have like these 5 points here. That's level 5. And they gave us a cavalry with melee, defense, some stamina, 2 points into stamina, and 1 into devotion. Not the way I would go with it, but hey, it's free unit. And they have 2 more abilities. One is called Trample. Cavalry attempts to charge right over the enemy infantry, killing as much as possible, but they also suffer some damage. Heavy infantry or spearmen might even stop the charge. So they do have the ability to march through troops and damage them and really destroy them, but you will take some damage because it's a cavalry charge. You hit your horse and yourself into other troops. And then this is an ability that can be turned on and off, called dodge. Soldiers are trained to watch out for and avoid archer attacks, but slightly diminishes their defensive ability in melee. So you get plus 300 to range defense, and you get minus 20% to armor. Range defense is 75, so you can imagine that having 375 is a huge boost. This is when you want to charge an archer unit. Like, you click on this ability and you charge at them, and it doesn't really matter that you lose on the armor, especially because they're not that tough in melee. So we have the footman, same idea, and we have archers over here. Nothing more to explain for right now. We're gonna end our turn, and the season will change. Now it is summer. We're gonna go ahead with the next battle.
Attack!
We'll do the tutorial once more, and this is how most battles are fought over. Like, you pick a map out of 3. It's random what you get. It doesn't really matter where you are at. You get the same, like a different selection of 3 maps, and you might find this map choice all over the map, like basically everywhere, or in most places, not everywhere. This is one of the minuses of this game, because you always have the choice of 3 maps, and there's always, like, it's from the same pool of maps. At some point the map become repetitive. You understand which maps are actually better for you and for what you like to do, and you realize that some maps are awful. But yeah, let's go with this, with Plain and Forest. Dragons fought many wars in the ancient past of Britannia until they left the island. This is a legendary plain where one of the greatest battles took place. So let's jump in this battle. So we get a quick presentation of the different victory points on the map. This is like if you ever played Shogun 2 in multiplayer, there are different points that give you different bonuses on the map. Controlling most of these points will also reduce the enemy's morale. At the same time, if the enemy controls these points, you lose morale. So I guess this is the way in which the game actually forces you to take action. And if you do not, or if the AI does not, well, you will win the battle. So what do we have over here? We have a Dark Monastery. Cooldown times are half for all spells in the vicinity. We have a village which regenerates stamina of all units in the village. So basically it has a surrounding circle when you keep your mouse over it once the battle starts, and you will get your stamina by occupying that post. A meal gives 20% food at the end of the battle. And Stone Circle grants the Storm of Avalon spell in the vicinity. And then we deploy our troops. So how do we do this? Well, I'll have the archers first in front. I'll do it in a Total War style for now, right? I'll have archers in front. One thing you need to remember for archers, you want to keep them at fire at will maybe at the beginning of the game. But after that, let's say, no, it says if you want to do it automatically at the beginning of the battle. The thing is, if you take off your troops off fire at will, they will engage automatically whatever is in range. And I do like that, especially once you have one unit that has finished a battle, you want to push into another unit and maybe your eyes are not there. But with the archers do cause friendly fire. If you don't have ticks on the weaker archers, they will do a lot of damage to you. So you have to remember that after a while you will want to turn them off. Pressing Control 1 will assign them to a group. Will assign your troops to a group. We're gonna take 2 more of these. I will have a 3rd infantry, that light infantry, which I want to take over there to that village. And I will have this cavalry. Let's see. No, that is an infantry. This the other way around. I want. We'll have the cavalry over here, and I want to go and capture that mill for the extra resources. So the battle has started. We're gonna run up here. We're gonna run up there, and with the archers, yeah, we'll bring them over on this side. You can see the enemy troops on the horizon. This is the morale. This is the overall morale of the battle. So basically, when this runs out, gets to 0, the other side wins. The one way in which you can reduce this bar is by killing their units off. So if you kill their units off, they will have less morale. So what we've done here is basically I am pushing quickly with our cavalry. When you look at cavalry, this blue bar here at the bottom is called momentum. You need momentum in order to have a very successful charge. If you don't have a huge momentum build up here, then you are not getting any kind of bonuses. It's not really a charge. And I feel like for some of the Total War games that is needed. Like we saw if you were watching the Total War with the... Oh, I see a unit.
Cavalry.
What unit is... Oh no, they're here. So if you're watching the Total War with the 1212 AD mod, you can see there that sometimes, even though I understand that they're heavy cavalry, like if they're this close, they don't have time enough to really pull off a charge. At least that's what I would say. But in 1212 AD mod, if they're this close, they can do a charge at a full bonus and really destroy your troops, which I don't like personally. Okay, so we captured this. Now we have 1 point, they have 1 point. Let's see. Let's try to start firing upon them. I would like to bring our cavalry over. Yeah, and now we're gonna fire upon them. So you can see plenty of their archers are dying. I should put them in a horde kind of formation. Yeah, we're taking some good losses as well. Let's charge their units as well. Good, only 6 units remaining there. I wanna fire upon these archers here as they do have some bonuses. Good. Right now you see that their morale is starting to go down. Good. So they are protected. The reason why they're taking less damage here is that they are protected by the forest. Very good defense against archers. Penalty for archery, meaning that if you shoot from the forest, you also get the penalty for the arrows. So some of your arrows hit the trees. That is the idea. Okay, let's bring this unit around here. You can see that even with the settings of weaker archers, like it's not a huge difference over here. Like we're still melting some of their troops. Yeah, let's not get engaged there. In a way, what this game is missing, as far as I can tell, or I guess it's my very own opinion here, is that it's missing some of the mobility that the Total War has when you retreat your troops and what do you do. But on the other side, it really does a whole lot better as far as tactical movement, doing the right choices, engaging the right troops. It feels like the precursor, in a sense, of what Total War Warhammer is today. I feel like there's some good ideas that actually got implemented later on in a Total War Warhammer kind of game, even though they're not related in any way, shape or form. So. The reason why we won the battle there before all of the units got killed is because they ran out of morale, and that is a really fun idea that the game has in place. So what do we do here? We gain a bit of experience. Now we gain like some from killing units and some from just a normal battle. And we do hold right now the entire region of Cornwall. There's a few things you need to pay attention to. First of all, this population. So here we have Britons. Its faith is Christianity or its old faith. There is a split between the new church and the old church. You have population, we have loyalty, we have military, health, public safety, and food productivity. Like some of these, you might have in mind what they do, we will discuss them later on through the game when it becomes more relevant. But at the end of the day, it's through towns that you get income, both gold and food. The different buildings you see on the world map have different bonuses, like if you rest your armies on them, you will be getting experience and mana points and other stuff. But once again, being that we're playing like in a tutorial manner, some of these are not unlocked. They don't tell you what they do. What else can we do? Well, nothing for now. We'll just end the turn.
Greetings to you, my lord. In Uther Pendragon's time, the two neighbours, Dorset and Dumnonia, were the two most influential provinces of the south. Now King Idris, the tyrant of Dorset, has decided that the time is right to raid the neighbouring lands. King Mark, the rightful ruler of Dumnonia, is preparing for the fight. Each of these kings wants your help, and each offers a different reward.
And here we have our first quest. If we take a look now, the objective screen has opened. The game is split into 4 acts, and there are quests that are mutually exclusive, so it really depends on which direction you want to go. This is the first, I guess it's a moral choice, whether you want to go with Rightful or you want to go with Tyrant. So what can we do? We can either help King Mark or defeat King Mark. Either one is fine. And what will we do? Well, if we help King Mark, we will get +1 to Rightful, and we will get King Mark and his soldiers to join our army. If we defeat King Mark, then we'll get 8,000 gold, we'll get the Sword of the Ancients. And this is an artifact. You get +1 to magic, +1 to fight. We didn't talk about stats, but we will soon. And after 10 battles, you will get -30% to the cooldown of your skills. Which is really, it's a really good idea. And for a game made in 2009, I was so excited. I was blown away by the complexity of this game. I don't think I've ever seen anything like it until then. Total War went in a different direction. It was magical. It was historical, right? Had some interesting stuff going on, but not as much. And we get +1 to Tyrant. I think that during this campaign, what I will do as far as good and evil goes, during this run, we're gonna go Rightful. The reason why I want to go Rightful is because it's closer to what we've been playing. Meaning, I've tried to play it as the good guy, and even though it's the more boring play, I believe it's a good beginning. It's something that everybody plays so much that it leaves you the experience and the wonder, what is it like to play the other side, where you play the evil, right? Where you play as a tyrant. And we will do that. I'll definitely do a second run at least of this game. But until then, let's focus on this. Help King Mark. The mindless war is slowly devastating Britannia. What other proof is needed than an unprovoked atrocity committed by King Idris of Dorset, that treacherous monarch who suddenly invaded the neighboring province of King Mark, a man of true honor. King Mark is a former friend of Uther Pendragon, but now he is suffering under the attacks of Sir Gley, the champion of King Idris. He has called to arms all of his men who might be capable of withholding the brutes from the east, but his advisors counseled him to seek assistance elsewhere too. If you help King Mark, he will aid you in battle in the future with all the warriors he can spare. This is the first challenge to your virtue. Not gonna read this, we'll keep this text for the future. Let's do this. What am I going to do now is we are going to go this way. So we either attack King Mark or we attack King Idris. And with Sir Calais, they do have a hero in their army, so we're gonna go this way. Armies without hero can't move. They can exist, they can protect different areas. If I remember this correctly, I know they can protect towns, but they cannot move. Keep that in mind. Well, that's it for this. That's all the movement we have. Let's end the turn, and we've reached winter. Each season is different, my lord. You have to keep that in mind. The year begins with the spring. After harsh winters, you might have to be prepared to deal with hungry commoners. While spring is the most timely season to go adventuring, summer is the best season for military campaigns. In the autumn comes the harvest, when you prepare for the coming winter and food arrives from your provinces. Autumn is the last chance to go into battle. Winter is the bleak season when heroes hone their skills and the gold income arrives at the treasury. So during summer you have more movement across the map. Food arrives during autumn, so that is the harvest season. Gold arrives during winter. And the thing about winter, you cannot fight during winter. All the armies are set in snow, they're camping, nobody is moving. There's different things that you can do, but one of the most important parts is leveling up your heroes, leveling up your units. And here is where we get to our hero, which is Sir Kay. He is a warlord. A warlord is, well, let's read. Warlords are natural-born leaders. They are masterful of strategies and prefer tactics over raw combat skills. Faster, that means we get faster movement on the harder terrain tabs on campaign map if he is the army leader. So you can have multiple heroes in your army. There are three types. There are warlords, which definitely make better generals. There are champions, which are great in fighting in melee, in hand-to-hand combat. And lastly, there are mages, which use spells and do buffs and debuffs and all kinds of stuff. So what do we have here? Well, first of all, we have stats. We have leadership. Each charisma of the hero grants him a high reputation in the heart of his soldier. Each level lowers the upkeep cost of the army of the hero by 2%. We can have rain. Rain gives free additional income for food and gold in the fiefdom of the hero. So yeah, we can assign our hero land. We have adventuring, which grants us 5 more experience during quests and 5 movement points for the army of the hero. We have a fight, which grants 5% extra hit points damage for the hero and his unit. You can see that he's included in this unit. And finally we have magic, which grants us 5% extra mana points for the hero. Thing is, all of these stats will matter in quests as well. You will see later on, but I think to begin with, I want to go with adventuring. Gives 5% more experience to us as a hero during quest, and we get 5% movement points for the army of the hero, and I do want to move around the map a bit quicker. So I'm gonna throw him that point. We also have on the hero, let's see, this is the experience. Yeah, we'll go for general information. So on the general information, we have the big thing here, loyalty. The loyalty of the hero to his king. A knight with low loyalty might leave the service of his lord. Fiefdoms and wives raise the loyalty, but the difference between the morality of the knight and the king decreases it. So, what does that mean? Well, you can see the Sir Kay. This is why he's the beginning hero as far as I find it. He's neutral. He's neither rightful, neither he is a tyrant. He's not aligned in any way. So if you make a choice in either direction, you will not lose him. There's also the choice between Christianity and the old faith. Once again, whether you go more Christian or whether you go more old faith, it won't matter for him because he's neutral, but it will matter for other characters. So you have to be careful who you bring into your army. The heroes also have traits. This guy is an arrogant Briton, meaning we'll get -3 loyalty in fiefdoms with different cultures. That's why when we're going to give him, and I am going to give him the region of Cornwall, it's important to see what type of people, like what type of culture is in that land. Otherwise, we will lose like 3 loyalty per turn, or how was it? Like No, just straight up -3 to loyalty, which is this thing here. We'll see later on what this is about. He's also ferocious, meaning plus 30% military in the owned fiefdoms. And he's stern, meaning we will get plus 25% tax income in owned fiefdoms. So he's a decent governor. He won't be an amazing governor, but he will be good enough. And we can give him land. We can give our heroes up to 3 regions. And they will give, depending on the region, they will give loyalty to them. So I am going to assign this territory to him. Let's see, how was it? Add to hero. Here it is. So now we gain a bit of loyalty and he's administering the area, which will provide us more bonuses. Money comes from taxes, trade, and mines. There are regions that do mine, and we get food from trade and taxes. Okay, well, we're not done. Unfortunately, that's why I want to make this long episode, because there's a lot to explain, there's a lot of stuff, and it might seem a bit confusing at first, but you'll catch on pretty quickly. Then we have skill points, and there are 2 types of skill points. Class skills. Class skills depends on the class of the warrior. And then general skills. General skills, I find them, it's something that really depends on the hero. There are some heroes that have different skills. I'm not sure exactly how it is picked. But let's start with class skills. Famous leader, plus 10 stamina. You can see we have 1 skill point. It's like this, the Fog of Apollon. So we can be a famous leader. This is a passive skill. It gives 10 stamina for the whole army if the hero is the leader. Then we have Aura of O, increase the stamina of all friendly units by 1% for 4 seconds. This is an active skill. There's reduced stamina of all opposing units by -1% per second. So once again, an active skill. We have Liege, provides 2% more loyalty and 10% gold and food income in the hero's province. Plus Seneschal, -5 recruitment and upkeep cost for all units in the hero's army. Or plus 10 movement points on the campaign map for the hero's army. And then we have Masterful Strategies, more survivor of friendly units after the battle, -5 survivors to the enemy units, and +5 morale to the army at the start of a battle. I'm not gonna go into the advanced anymore. We have Masterful Tactics, +20 damage and armor for all friendly units within range. So there will be a circle around him. Units in that circle would get +20% to damage and armor. You can imagine that being pretty useful. And then we have some general skills. Cloud of Arrows. Target archer unit shoots 3 arrows instead of 1. Heals all injured soldiers in the target unit. Protect from magic, plus 40% magic resistance for all your units within within a 80-meter range of the hero. Scholar, we have research points. Yes, there is research in this game. Victorious Army, plus 50% to army morale bonus and plus 20 rewards after the victorious battle if the hero is the leader. And finally but not least, 5% extra XP for the hero and 5% extra XP for all units and heroes in the whole army if the hero is the leader. I like Victorious Army. I do like the 20% extra rewards after the victorious battle, so we'll pick this one first. Then I'm going to go for something more of an active ability, something that we can use the hero's mana on. And these ones, most of them you can upgrade. You can see it says here, what is the next level? Well, the next level provides us an extra 50% and an extra 20%. Right? So you can increase this, I think, to level 4. And we do have, like any good RPG, we have items. We start with the Brass Leaf Pendant, which provides us with +1 to leadership, and we can pass this around from hero to hero. Okay, well, that is all with the hero for now. Let's go over to our units. For our heavy units, I do like to give them a good melee because they do have a lot of life. For our light units, I prefer giving them life, like the defense. And for archers, I like going with the ranged first. There's importance in adding defense as well, as it does provide protection against ranged defense. Though you have to take a look at this. At this level, it's going to be a minus of 5 to range defense, but that is it. Like, these archers don't really have range defense because they don't have shields. So going for this, other than hit points, you will not get anything. At least not anything that will matter. Okay, let's have some coffee. Let's end the turn.
Yes,
a new
my king.
season. So now we're fighting Sir Glay.
Attack!
I can do auto battle, but I don't really want to do that. We're gonna jump in and we're gonna fight. Let's do Verdun Meadows. Everything that you see here in these graphics, when you take a look at these graphics and you'll see women and all types of stuff, it will remind you a lot of the new mobile games for the past years, where they're trying to do this to sell with, I guess, with sex and like it's like advertising for cars and stuff like that, where it just shows a bunch of women and cool stuff, and you will think like, oh, I'll never get something like that. But in this game, you actually do. Like, the graphics are real, the units you will have are real, and yeah, there's no lie. Okay, what do I want to do here? I think I'm just gonna capture these, regenerate stamina of all units in the village, just because we want to keep our points stable, and that's about it. I don't think we'll get to anything else.
Cavalry.
So let's move our cavalry quickly over there. I'm gonna bring our archers up. I want to keep the light infantry through the forest. So I want to bring them around here. I will keep the heavy footmen in the open fields. And the archers, I'm just throwing them inside this forest. We'll see what exactly will be like the battlefield, like where will we fight, whether I want to go after them downhill. There's not a huge bonus to fighting downhill, so don't overthink it. Let's wait for them to get in range, because I want to spring an ambush with our archers. They're on fire at will, so they should be activating themselves automatically against this axeman. Yep, you can see that they're getting the bonuses there. And yeah, look at their health go down.
Infantry. Attack.
Okay, let's get these heavier troops in the forest.
Attack. Infantry. Attack. Attack. Infantry.
Perfect.
Attack.
And I will bring our cavalry around here,
Archers. Fire.
like after their archers.
Fire.
Good. I'll try to shoot down his archers with ours,
Fire.
their own.
Infantry.
See, I'll throw in the Fog of Avalon just so they don't have range on us, and I think that's going to be fine. I'll take my archers off fire at will.
Infantry. Attack.
Yeah. Okay. Now their hero is somewhere around here fighting. This guy is it, with his two-handed mace.
Cavalry. Charge.
Okay, it seems like they've retreated some of their axes. Yeah. Yeah, let's shoot at his archers. Okay. Apparently we're almost done here. Good. Let's see. Is there anything else here? Yeah, there are 2 more units. Okay, let's run away with our archers. Let's engage with this guy. Just like that. And I think at this point we can just go ahead. You can see his morale is going down. Yeah, just like that. So this battle is over as soon as his hero is out. Good. Heroes can hold on for longer than most units, which it really brings the point. It has the same feeling as you do in Thrones of Britannia, not Thrones of Britannia, but the Free Kingdoms, or something like Total War Warhammer. Okay? We gain a few resources after the battle. With him defeated, we get our first reward, which is Mark and his soldiers, and we get to see our morality system. So, in which way are we going to go? I said we're going to go Rightful instead of Tyrant, and as I said, because I want to make this a slightly boring experience, right? Something that you expect, I am going to go with Christianity instead of the Old Faith. During this playthrough, in a future playthrough we're going to go, probably next time we're going to go with Tyrant and Old Faith. But whatever direction you want to go, you will have a different experience with different quests and different choices. So don't imagine that if you go right Christian, whether you go Rightful or Tyrant, it's going to be the same. No, there are nuances to this game. So it's going to be pretty interesting. And what does it give to go one way or another? Well, first of all, spells. You get to unlock different spells depending on your faith and your morality. So you'll go, you'll have lightning bolts here in the north, you'll have crystal shards, destroys 30% soldiers of the targeted units. That's any unit. So if you do, like, this is better used against heavy troops, right? If you do this on their toughest troops, they will be weakened quite significantly. Then you have general abilities. This is related to, for example, if we were to go north into Rightful, right? Whether we go Old Faith or Christian, we have this in the middle. +1 food productivity in every province. 10% cheaper upkeep cost for all armies. Advanced theories, Camelot grants. 10% research points per season. Yeah, we'll have our very own Camelot. Drilling, and so on and so forth. And on the right side, we will get health in all provinces, rain for all heroes. And on the left side, we have ancient wisdom, or leadership, or loyalty. In the south, you'll get brutality, every hero gains 1 fight, and so on and so forth. Like, you'll get a lot of abilities, we'll look over them more as we unlock them. Units. You get different units depending on your morality. So you can see that going here in the north, we have yeomen and golden griffins, and some marksmen, sentinels, royal guards, things like that. More on the Christian line, we get sangreal knights and crusaders. If we go to the darker on Tyrant, we get brigands, we have raven guards, wasteland warriors, some lionhearts, which are mostly Christian and slightly tyrannical. They're not too far south, but they are tough troops, and they are a bit more zealous, and it shows you like the morality that they have. Like, where are they settled? We'll talk more about that in the future. But you also have like different magical creatures and things like that. It's a really complex game. It's really fun to play it, and I do recommend it. So what else are we doing now? Well, we have we'll have a new hero in our army. Let's end the turn. King Mark used to be a proud monarch. When the tides of change swept through the island, he had his own plans to rise in power, but he had to accept that he has no chance in the new age of magic and mayhem. So he sent his heartfelt gratitude for your help, my lord, and recognized you as the new king. He also sent out the word to his soldier. Those who want to join in your ranks are free to do so. So we get some sentinels on our side, which they have the ability to do shield wall. I guess we'll take a look at our army later on. And we get to take a look at a round table. There is a limited spots for heroes to occupy the round table. You have, every hero has loyalty, every hero has their own trait. You will have ladies, which you can marry to your knights. You will have, as I said, fiefdoms, and there is a prison where you can torture, or you can release prisoner, or you can recruit. You can do all sorts of things. And this is King Arthur, this is us. So it asks us to conquer all of these provinces. So we're gonna take the land from him. It's a way to teach you how to,
on my way,
how to occupy land. Right? In order to have a full region,
on
you
my
have
way.
to occupy all of these flag posts, right? All of these buildings. We'll end the turn, get into autumn.
On my way.
And that is it with our movement. Let's end the turn. And now we're taking a look at our heroes. He leveled up again. So what I'm going to do now is, with the rest of our ability, I am going to go with Masterful Tactics. As I said, I want an active ability on him to use the mana during, like Fog of Babylon, we might use it every once in a while, but I need something more, because I might use it maybe once per battle. With the rest of the point, I'm gonna continue on adventuring. And the cool thing about this is you don't have to keep your hero in this. Like, for example, in the Heavy Footman. You can add him in any type of unit. Wherever you think the role is better suited, you do that. Like, if you want him to be a cavalry, he can be a cavalryman. It's not a problem. But given that I do like this guy to have more, like he has Masterful Tactics, he needs to be around his troops. So I'm gonna keep him in a unit that is tougher. This other hero of ours, actually, let's see. Yeah, so this other hero of ours, he is a champion. Champions gain additional 15% experience points during battles, but they are fighters. They like to be in the middle of a battle. He is precise, giving us +1 to food growth and free health in own fiefdoms. At the same time, he is benevolent, meaning that recruitment costs in the owned fiefdoms, owned by him, will be more expensive. So we have to be careful of what we do with him. He is also rightful and slightly Christian, so this will matter for his loyalty. Well, as far as skill goes, he has Armor of Faith, which is a passive skill, repels 10% of the damage caused by melee attacks aimed at the hero unit, so him and whoever is under him, and also casting them back at the enemy immediately. The hero also gains +10 to magic resistance. He also has an active ability called Dragon Strike. The hero inflicts huge damage on the closest 6 opponents within a 20-meter range. And he also finally has Guardian Angel. The first 15 attacks aimed at the hero unit will fail immediately. So you can see he's better fitted to fight very close in melee. We can give him an ability called Cleave. The hero attacks 2 opponents at the same time. Mighty Blow. When using Cleave, the attack range is increased by 5 meters and the damage inflicted by the hero by 25%. Or Swift Attack. The hero attacks are 15% faster. These are not tied to Cleave. This happens automatically. Enchanted Equipment. The hero's unit gets 15% damage and 40 range defense. I do like that. Hero's own unit attacks 10% faster and gains 10% magic resistance. So I'm gonna throw him on a heavy unit as well. And I think this might be better. Like, we are pretty good on range defense. Let's see, general skills. Breath Stealer. The hero feeds up 20% life of those he attacks. Okay, so we can heal him. Heal all injured soldiers. Range attacks cannot cause damage to the chosen unit. Invisible Shield. Reveal life. All enemy units become visible on the battle map, even if they are hiding in the woods. And the Sound of Courage plus 30% stamina for all of your units within a 100-meter range of the hero. I want him to be more of an active player on the battlefield. So let's have Enchanted Equipment. Let's do that first. Oh, we do not have a level up point. That is okay. And the artifact plus 1 HP per second to the hero's unit. Great, so we heal during battle. I am going to provide you with defense. We have sentinels now, which are experienced retainers, minus 75% cost, gold and food to replenish the losses of the unit. It does cost here to replenish. They have, let's see, advantage. This is an advantage because it is a plus. They have a moderate advantage versus archers. So if we use them to attack archers, we will get a bonus. They have range defense of 100, while these have only 25, because they do have a bigger shield. And they have the shield wall ability. Front row gains very high defense bonus in melee, medium defense against archers, weak against cavalry charges. Mostly because it's a little line, a very small, not small, but thin line, and cavalry can go through. So it's not as good against cavalry, plus they can get outflanked pretty quickly. Whew. Well, I spoke a lot during this episode, but that is because there is a lot to explain.
Hear my words, my good and gracious lord. A new conflict is brewing in the south. It revolves around the fate of a wealthy province, Salisbury. King Idris, the tyrannical ruler of Dorset in the south, is preparing for an attack, and the rightful king of Somerset is gathering his forces to protect Salisbury from the north. Both Dorset and Somerset want you to help them in their battle for Salisbury, and they both offer long-term alliances.
So here is our next quest. These, depending on what you do, will take you further on future quests. We will be reading all of these next time. This is all I wanted to show you for this particular episode. We're gonna come back tomorrow and we're gonna do another hour-long episode where we continue where we left off, which is right here, and we'll explain more. Hope you have enjoyed it. If you do, as I say at the beginning of every series, do consider leaving a like on the episode, as it does help me and the channel grow. Do leave a comment if you have any thoughts on the game. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear if you ever played this game before, and if you are a big fan of it as I am, or if not, like, what is exactly that you didn't like about it, because I am curious to see and somehow try to improve my thoughts and opinion on games and stuff. And subscribe to the channel if you like what I do. Now until tomorrow, thank you very much for watching, and I wish you all to have a wonderful day.